traversing some of the most inaccessible paths in the world. These ships are called icebreakers. And our icebreaker is named Polar Explorer. Watching the Polar Explorer sail smoothly and steadily through icy waters may make it all seem easy. But the truth is, icebreakers are an impressive feat of engineering, mastered only in the last century. In this 10-minute film, we'll explore the fascinating history of icebreakers, their brilliant design, various uses, and much more. There's no time to waste. Let's begin our expedition. In the late 19th century, the Industrial Revolution and the ability to construct ships from metal triggered an explosion in ship design. For the first time, ships were being engineered for new and specific functions, such as firefighting, rescue, research, and more. It's no surprise that the first icebreaker ships appeared in the late 1800s in various northern countries across the globe, where winter brought frozen ice waters, dangerous for travel. A perfect example can be found in Hamburg in the late 1800s, when it was the busiest port in Germany, and millions of tons of cargo passed through its docks every year. But nearly every winter, the water in the port turned to ice, trapping ships and bringing trade to a halt. In the winter of 1871, the water froze for nearly 2 months, threatening the livelihood of Hamburg's merchants. Why couldn't the ships of the time steer their way through the ice? The problem lay in their design, specifically the bow of the ship, which was sharp and straight, allowing it to cut through water like a knife. But with a ship like that, it's an ice ship. It gets stuck.
Now, when a ship piles into a sheet of ice, it's attacking it edge on, and that takes a lot of effort and doesn't necessarily get you very far. But there's a better way of attacking a sheet of ice, or a sheet of anything, like this. And that is pretty effective. Rather than just chipping away little chunks, I do the whole lot in one blow. And the reason why it's so effective is because when the ship's attacking the ice sheet on the side, the bit it's hitting is being supported by miles of ice behind it. Whereas you come down from the top and you're breaking it through the thinnest section. The problem is, how do you get a ship to attack a sheet of ice from the top?
In 1871, Hamburg ship engineer Karl Ferdinand Steinhaus, together with his partner, ferry operator Johann Heinrich Greb, designed one of the first icebreaker ships called Icebreaker I. The ingenious solution was to build a ship with a special bow, not sharp like a knife, but round like a spoon. Now the ship would slide on top of the ice and smash down with its massive weight. With a powerful engine, the ship could plow the ice endlessly, keeping Hamburg's port open for trade even in the winter. The spoon-shaped bow was groundbreaking and is still used today in modern icebreakers. So, what other properties do icebreakers have? An icebreaker has 3 traits most normal ships lack: an ice-clearing shape, like the Icebreaker I's spoon-shaped bow, a strengthened hull to crush and be protected from the ice, and a powerful engine with strong enough propulsion to push tons of steel through the ice. Why does it need all of this power? The answer lies in the fact that ice is a lot stronger than you think.
Ice comes in many different forms. This is my sample of freshly frozen ice. You can see it's pretty milky looking with faults and cracks, whereas multi-year ice that's been through many cycles of freezing and thawing is considerably purer. It's absolutely crystal clear. This here is my ice cannon. I'm going to use it to fire these samples in some sheets of steel. First, freshly frozen ice. Slip it in the barrel here. Cannons pressurized. 3, 2, 1. There's no denying that that's a mighty impact, but it looks like this little panel has survived. What I want to do now, though, is put a new steel sheet on here and see how it handles the impact with multi-year ice. So we've got a new sheet of steel in there, some old multi-year ice in here. Let's see if we can spot any difference. 3, 2, 1. Wow. Look at that. You really wouldn't want that to be the hull of the boat you're travelling on. And what happened was that multi-year ice is a tougher, harder material. You can see the difference it makes to steel there. And that poses a significant problem for icebreaking hulls.
Today's modern icebreakers have special navigation systems that know how to avoid multi-year ice. In fact, modern icebreakers have many new technologies and uses that didn't exist back in the days of Icebreaker 1. Icebreaker 1, with its spoon-shaped bow, is an example of a traditional icebreaker. Traditional icebreakers are used to keep waterways open when there are either seasonal or permanent ice conditions. When a ship becomes immobilized by ice, the icebreaker can flee it by breaking the surrounding ice and opening a safe passage through the ice field. The problem with traditional icebreakers is that their roundabout is not stable in open water, so they can only sail in ice conditions. Multifunctional icebreakers, however, are more diverse. They can break ice during the winter, and when the ice is melted, are useful for other jobs, such as laying cables or for exploration purposes. Their bow is rounded, but instead of the spoon shape, they have a straight and slanted shape in front, which allows the ship to break the ice at a lower angle and then push it aside. Another example of multi-purpose icebreakers can be found in offshore drilling sites in the Arctic seas, where icebreakers are needed for tasks like supplying cargo to the drilling sites. Here you can also find massive tanker icebreakers used to transport liquefied natural gas to and from drilling stations. Among the advancements in icebreakers are a new generation of multifunctional icebreakers built specifically for scientific research in the Arctic and Antarctic oceans. So, what kind of icebreaker is our very own Polar Explorer? Polar Explorer was built as a multifunctional icebreaker in 1976, along with 3 other ice-class sister ships, named as the Scheppelsturm, Herrentor, and Mördertor, on the Weser River in northwest Germany. It was built as an ice-class, anchor-handling tug and supply vessel that operates in both the open and ice-covered waters of the Northern Sea. During its industrial operation, the ship was used for towing large barges around the world, from Norway all the way to Brazil. It also handles anchors for oil rigs in the Arctic Ocean, brings supplies such as food and water to the crewmen on oil rigs, and of course welcomes explorers like you for an unforgettable journey. Now you have a deeper understanding of the Polar Explorer's history and its incredible engineering and design. In fact, at this very moment, you are part of the global fleet of icebreaker ships navigating around the world. But perhaps one of the most thrilling new uses of icebreakers is to fulfill the aspirations of explorers like yourselves who dream of seeing the Antarctic at the North Pole. Icebreakers now make that possible.
0.8 miles to the North Pole. 0.8 miles to the North Pole. Ladies and gentlemen, we will close to the 90-degree sign and we form a circle. We hold hands, and there we have 1 minute of silence.
Standing at the North Pole for the first time is the most amazing privilege. If you think of how many explorers tried to get to this point to find out what was here, and here we are on the
perhaps the Polar Explorer isn't just the beginning of your journey. We thank you for having joined us on this expedition and hope that you have a new appreciation for the power and elegant design of icebreakers, the magnificent vessels traveling through